Greetings, dear friends. We continue our first wellness series, Energy of Life. What was in the previous episodes? We have got acquainted with this practice. We have studied in previous series how energy moves through the lung channel, how energy moves through the colon channel. We did some preparatory breathing exercises. We affected a certain number of the most important biologically active points. We prepared for the first exercise and completed it. We found out that warming breath is a longer breath, that is, when the inhale is longer than the exhale. And when a small micropause is made at the end of the inhalation, and then exhale as usual. And we did the first exercise with you. And let's try to do it again, taking the correct position of the body, heels together, socks together, the tip of the tongue pressed to the upper palate. The crown stretches upwards, the chin is slightly retracted. They are attracted to themselves, not so close as not to block the free movement of energy along the anterior median channel. And we do not throw our head back so as not to block the movement along the posterior median channel. That is, to pull in a little bit, the head seems to be on a soft pillow. We don't lean back, but at the same time, we feel very comfortable and relaxed. The gaze is turned inward. We turn on the inner smile. We talked about this in detail in the previous lesson. And let's do the first exercise. Inhale. Exhale. Wonderful. And now, friends, let's agree that we always move with you in a mirror. That is, if I take a step to the left, you have a step to the right, respectively. You just look at the screen and perform a mirror image. If I take a step to the right, take a step to the left, respectively. So, the next exercise. A very important exercise is rubbing the palms of your hands. It sounds very simple. It is also very simple. But before we get into this position, we need to understand another very important principle. This is the principle of movement in Qigong complexes and in Taiji. This principle is called empty full. It's like transfusing fluid into vessels. When one vessel is filled, it becomes motionless. The other is emptied, it becomes light, weightless. And the same thing in the other direction. Also, body weight and energy flows from one leg, through the lower dantian, to the other leg. That is, energy flows. We take root on one leg, rearrange it. The energy is distributed to both legs, straighten the legs, and return in the same way. One way and the other way. Regardless of how wide we retreat, but the principle remains the same. At the same time, it is very important that the crown stretches upwards, the vertebral column remains vertical, and so, before proceeding to the second exercise, we sit down slightly, bend our knees, take root on one leg. The heel of the other one is smoothly lifted, torn off, and as if we step over a stream. You don't need to drag your foot. It is also not necessary to raise and lower too high, like a heron. Very simple and natural movement. Sit down a little, the crown stretches up, the heel is gently lifted, set aside, the feet are parallel. And it turns out that men's feet should be shoulder-width apart, women's feet should be pelvic-width apart. The feet are parallel. After that, the knees are usually straightened, but in this case we will not straighten them. That is, we go out into this position and stay in this position. In the same way, we will return back when we have already completed the entire complex. Get your legs together. So let's try. We sit down slightly. We set the leg aside, Transfer the weight of the body, equally distribute his leg without tops. And we proceed to the next exercise. We fold our palms at the level of the abdomen, fingers forward, palms outstretched, fingers parallel to the floor. The distance is natural, a small space between the arms and the body. Everything is very natural and airy. Let's take a breath. Here we use direct breathing. On the inhale, we inflate the stomach. On the exhale, we pull it into ourselves. At the same time, we will feel the connection between the Qi point, the lower dantian, and the points of Lao Gong. How to find Lao Gong points? A very important point, which we will repeatedly recall in this complex. So let's define. This is the pericardial canal. The pericardial canal begins from the points of the stretch, which are located in men, on the width of the nail bed of the thumb from the nipples. These are the sensitive places here. These are the points of Tianqi. In women, they are usually found as follows. The hand is pressed to the chest, and 4 fingers or 3 cuni here to the middle of the chest. And somewhere in this area, you can find a similar point. This is the point of Tianqi. Before we affect the pericardial canal, this is very important. For the heart to work, for the circulatory system, in order to start many mechanisms, we need to start the pericard. Let me remind those who may have forgotten that this is a heart bag that protects our epicard, the heart itself, from environmental influences, that is, from stretching, from blows. Epicard, this is the heart bag. There is a certain layer of serous fluid between the epicardium and the pericardium, and the amount of this serous fluid that is located there depends on the state of operation of the pericardium. And accordingly, it directly affects the work of our heart. I want to show you some important points on the pericardial canal. And first of all, these are the points of Tianqi. As we have already agreed, the width of the nail bed of the thumb is the Tsun. Tsun is an individual dimension. Moreover, it is different for everyone. The width of the nail bed is different for each person. The width of the nail bed is different, and accordingly, this measurement is individual. So, we find these points. To, for example, grope with your fingertips, it's quite difficult. But if you try to probe this area with the base of your palm, then you will feel the most sensitive part. These are the points of the pull. It is extremely important that there are no complications associated with the work of the heart, with the mammary glands. It is necessary to massage these points daily. This is done in the simplest way. We apply the base of the palm to these places and begin rotational movements forward 9 times. Back 9 times. Then we click on these points, find them, hold them, and mentally count to 9. Then we let go. Further, a very important point on the pericardial canal, with which you can regulate blood pressure throughout the body, is the Naiguan point. It is located at a distance of 3 cuni from the wrist fold. As we agreed, this channel runs from the middle of the chest, along the central line of the arm, and along the line of the middle finger, and ends at the tip of the middle finger, at the point of Zhongchun. And we'll get to her yet. So, the point of Naiguan is located. Now, if you bend the brush a little, from the wrist fold, we put 4 fingers together. In this way we measure out 3 cuni. 3 cuni. We are from this fold of the wrist, in the middle of this tendon. We report these four fingers, and here under the index finger, we can find this point.
Отсчитываем эти 4 пальчика, и вот под указательным пальцем мы можем найти эту точку.
It is advisable to act as follows. We dig in with the tip of the thumb, 4 fingers from below, and begin to move back to the brush 9 times.
9 раз.
To the elbow and back 9 times. Then, we press, hold, and rotate the brush to ourselves so that there is an even deeper penetration into this point. Let's go. In the same way, we find symmetrically from the best carpal fold, we measure 3 cuni, 4 fingers are folded together. Under the index finger between the tendons, we find a point on it guan, dig in with the tip of the thumb, 4 from below, and begin to move back to the brush 9 times. Elbows back 9 times. We dig in and rotate the brush to ourselves. To myself. 9 times. Wonderful. Now directly about the point of Lao Gong. This point is also strengthening. And another very important function of this point, in addition to the fact that it cheers up, improves the work of the heart. It surprisingly removes the effect of motion sickness. Sometimes on the road, both adults and children get seasick. In order not to get seasick on the road, you can activate this point before the road. Or, if you are seasick, or the child is seasick, you can act on these points already in fact, as they say. How do I find this point? In fact, on different schemes, they try to determine it in different ways. Someone there shows the middle to the index finger, someone from the middle to the ring finger. In fact, you need to remember that the channel itself is located along the line of the middle finger. This point is also translated as the palace of labor. And in order to detect this point of Lao Gong in the middle of the palm, this method is proposed. 2 fingers, the middle and ring fingers, bend and stick into the middle of the palm, then right between them. If we stick the tip of the thumb of the other hand, we just get to this very point of Lao Gong. It can be effected as follows. 4 fingers from the bottom, a big one from the top, and press 18 times. Then click on this point. It is quite sensitive. Open the brush, spread your fingers, relax, open, relax, 9 times. And on the other hand symmetrically. Also, we stick 2 fingers into the middle of the palm, and between them, with the tip of the thumb. We find this most wonderful point. Lao Gong point. Press 18 times. Then, click Open, Close. Wonderful. Another point that is very important on the pericardial canal is the Zhongchun point. It's very easy to find. If you press the tip of your thumb on the top of your middle finger, you can just detect it. This is quite a sensitive place. This is a point that can be affected as follows. Click this way 18 times. Then press, hold, and count to 9. Let's go. So, the pericardial canal. We are in this position. Our task now is to lose our palms. This movement, it is very common in different complexes of Qigong. In electrical engineering, so that the contact is good, it is cleaned, for example, with sandpaper.
Вот.
Here we
Затем
are
мы
just clearing
полностью
these
защищаем
contacts,
эти
because
контакты,
then we will
потому
work
что
with the Lao
дальше мы
Gong
будем
point,
работать с
we will
точкой
absorb
вдоха. Мы
energy,
будем
release
вдыхать из этой
energy
энергии,
through the Lao
выпускать
Gong
энергию через
points,
точки
and for this
Лаогонга.
we need to
И
focus.
для этого мы сосредотачиваемся
In
в
this
этом положении.
position, our
Колени
knees are bent,
высокие,
I remind
поднимаем
you.
руки
Hands
на
at the
уровне
level of the
живота.
abdomen. And
И
now, we
теперь
synchronize the
синхронизируем
movement with our
движение
hands
руками
and breathing.
и дыхание. На вдох
Inhale,
живот
inflate
надуваем,
the stomach, push
выдвигаем
one palm
одну
forward.
ладонь вперед.
The
Вторая
second one
ладошка
stops
получше
here on
запястья
the wrist
складочки,
fold
средний
with the
пальчик
middle finger
останавливается,
fixed.
да, вот зафиксировалась.
Then
Дальше
exhale,
выдох,
pull in the
втягиваем себя
stomach,
в живот,
rub the middle line,
потираем среднюю,
again the line of
переднюю
the middle
область груди,
finger,
среднего
warm
пояса,
up.
прогреваем.
One
Одна
arm
рука
extends, the
выдвигается,
other
другая
retracts.
втягивается.
It's
Это
on
на
the
выдох.
exhale.
И
And
снова
again
вдох,
inhale,
живот
inflate the
надуваем,
stomach,
выдох,
exhale,
втягиваем
pull
себя.
yourself in. And it
И
is very
очень важно,
important
чтобы
that we
мы
lightly press
слегка
our palms
нажимали
to
на
feel the
ладони,
contact.
чтобы чувствовать контакт. Да?
In other words, we are clearing
Ощущаем
contacts.
контакты. Вот.
At the
При
same
этом
time,
очень
the
важно
so-called centering
так
element is very
называемый
important.
элемент центровки.
Here,
Здесь нам
we need
нужно
to feel the
почувствовать
connection
связь
between the
между
points
точкой
of Lao Gong
Лаогонга
on the
вверха
hands and the
и
lower dantian.
нижним дантянем.
I
Понимаю, что
understand
если
that
вы
if you
никогда
have
этого
never
не
tried it,
пробовали,
at
сначала
first it
кажется это
seems
очень
very strange,
чудно,
but
но
then it
потом
becomes very
это
natural.
становится очень естественно.
In
Таким
this
образом, мы
way, we
соединяем
combine the energy
энергию
of the
нижнего
lower
дантяня
dantian with the
с
energy
энергией
that we have in our
поверхности ладони.
palms. On the inhale,
Вдох, живот
we inflate the
надуваем,
stomach.
на
On the
выдох
exhale,
тянем
we pull
себя.
it into ourselves.
Вдох,
Inhale turns into exhale.
переходит в выдох,
Inhale goes into inhale.
переходит во вдох.
We rub our
Убираем
palms
ладони,
together, so the
потом
round
идем
trip once
туда-обратно.
counts.
Один раз считается.
6
6
times.
раз. Замечательно.
Wonderful. Let's
Давайте
relieve the
сбросим
tension,
напряжение, встаем
shake
на
off the
брюшко,
arms,
просто немножко
legs,
попрыгаем.
jump a
Все
little,
напряжение
all the tension in the
от
floor. Shake
плеч на
off the
бедра.
hips. Let's jump on
Попрыгиваем
our
вверх,
heels
слегка
without taking
отрывая
off our
пятки.
heels. And now
Теперь
let's
сбросим
relieve the tension
вот
in this
таким
way.
образом напряжение.
You
Как
know,
будто
it's like a
провели
spring was
ток, сжали, а
squeezed
потом
and then
отпустили.
released.
Вот
That's
так,
it. We
раскидаем
spread our
руки по
hands on the
сторонам.
sides. And one more thing. We open up to
Открываем
all
для
the
себя
good,
хорошего,
stretch out,
вытягиваемся,
collect good clean energy, and direct it to
собираем
ourselves.
хорошую чистую энергию и направляем ее на себя.
We close the lower
Закрываем
dantian.
нижний дантянь.
And this was
Это
the
уже
second
было
exercise.
второе упражнение.
Today,
Сегодня же мы с
we will study
вами
the third exercise with you.
изучим третье упражнение.
The third
Третье
exercise is
упражнение
amazing in its effect,
удивительное
and it
в
is
своем,
very important that it goes
своем
immediately
эффекте, и
after the
очень
second
важно, что оно
exercise,
идет
in its
сразу же
sequence.
после второго упражнения в своей последовательности.
We
Мы с
have done
вами
this alignment,
сделали
warmed up our
центровку,
palms, and now
разогрели
they are
наши
ready for
мускулы,
action.
и теперь они готовы к действию.
And
И
from this
третье положение,
position,
сидя,
sitting in the same
тоже
way,
таким же
we
образом
slightly bent our knees, the main area is open,
слегка
we
согнули
begin. After we
колени,
have done the
плечи
sixth
немного
time,
открыто.
we begin to
Мы
applaud.
начинаем, вот после того, как мы сделали шестой раз, мы начинаем, прикладываем ладонь,
Palm, we
начинаем
begin to activate,
активировать,
revitalize the lung canal
оживлять
and the colon
канал
canal.
легких и канал толстого кишечника.
I
Мы
remind
знаем,
you
что канал
that the
легких
lung canal goes from under the
ключицы
collarbone,
идет по
goes
углу
along the
ключицы
inside of the
и
hand,
по линии
along the
большого
line of the
пальца.
thumb, the
Канал
channel of the
толстого
large
кишечника
intestine,
от
from the
указательного
index
пальца
finger,
к
along the
тыльной
outside of
стороне
the
руки в
hand,
сторону
and
лица.
towards the face. How are we
Как
going
мы
to
это
do
сделаем?
this?
Вот только
Just
что
now,
мы
we have
собрали
gathered
внимание,
energy,
сосредоточили
we have
внимание
focused attention on our
на наших
palms.
ладонях.
There
Есть
is such
такая
a formula,
где
where
внимание
attention is
там,
their key, where
где
key is
цель,
their
там
blood.
кровь.
In other
Наши
words, our
ладони
palms are
сейчас
very well
разогреты.
warmed up now.
Мы
We put our
прикладываем
palm under the
ладонь
clavicle,
под
and stretching
ключицу
out our hand, the tip of our thumb,
и
we sort of
вытягиваем
straighten the light channel, pull it
руку
out, and with this
от
hand
большого
we
пальца. Мы как бы расправляем канал легких, вытягиваем. А этой рукой мы
lead
ведем
through this
по этому
channel,
каналу.
we direct the key
Направляем
energy
энергию
from the Lao
Си
Gong
из
point throughout this
точки
channel, as
Лаогун
if
по
straightening
всему
and
этому
filling this
каналу,
channel
как бы
to the tip of the
расправляя и
thumb.
наполняя этот канал до кончика большого пальца. Дальше
Then we unfold,
разворачиваем,
bend the
сгибаем
arm
руку
at the
в
elbow,
локте, разворачиваем,
unfold, transfer
переводим
the palm
ладонь
to the
на
index
указательный
finger.
палец.
And
И
here,
здесь в
in reverse
обратном
order,
порядке
the
рука,
hand, the one on which this
которая
channel is located, stretches forward, and the second one, on the contrary, retracts, that is, we are already leading along the outside. That is, in this way we return to the starting position, under the collarbone. We move to the other side of the collarbone, and from here, we seize the initiative, and repeat the same thing from this side.
И то же самое повторяем уже с этой стороны.
That is, we direct the key from this palm, pull out the thumb, bend the arm, and pull out the index finger.
Здесь вытягиваем указательный пальчик перед собой.
We return it. Here,
Здесь мы
we take a
делаем,
deep breath,
выполняем
and here we
вдох,
exhale.
а здесь выдох.
We will feel the warmth spreading through these channels,
Этим каналом.
through the channel of the lungs, through the channel of the large intestine, and also a breath. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And another breath. Exhale. And inhale again. And exhale. After that, we lower our hands down, and as if we pick up the ball.
Подхватываем шар.
It's like there's a ball in front of us, palms facing the sky.
Обращены к небу.
The distance between the fingers is one fist. The distance from the edge of the palm to the abdomen is one fist. Elbows are spread apart. It's like we're picking up such a ball here. That's how we end up.
Мы заканчиваем.
And again, we will feel the connection between the points of Lao Gong and the lower Denshin. This exercise is performed 6 times.
6 раз.
That is, here, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale.
Вдох, выдох.
This is 1 time. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale.
Вдох, выдох. Это
That's
2.
2.
И так дальше.
Or 3
Или
pairs,
пары,
or
да,
6
то есть
times.
пары или 6 раз. То есть на каждый раз. То
That
есть в
is,
одну
in
сторону
one
мы
direction,
пускаем 1,
we consider it 1.
вот это
This is 2.
2, да.
And so on. If we count one and the other, then there are only 3 pairs. This is the average amount during which we can more or less animate the channels.
Количество, в течение которого мы можем более-менее оживить каналы.
Of course,
Конечно,
you
можно
can do much
выполнить
more,
гораздо больше.
and the effect of this
И
exercise
от
will
этого
be much
упражнения
greater
будет
and more
значительно
effective.
больше и эффективнее.
And we
И
finish
заканчиваем,
respectively
соответственно,
in
вот
this
в
position.
положении.
Thus,
Таким
we
образом,
completed 2
мы
exercises at
выполнили
once,
сразу
the
2
second and the third.
второе и третье.
But in
Но
order to repeat this,
для того,
we
чтобы
will
это
start from the very
повторить,
beginning.
начнем с самого начала.
So,
Исходное
the starting
положение.
position. To fix
Чтобы
it,
закрепить,
stretching out.
ставимся,
Inhale, opening the Da Jui point.
даджуй,
Exhale, 129,022, 43,438, minus 022, 47,122 step aside. We gather our hands at the level of the abdomen. We felt the connection between the points of Lao Gong and the lower Danshin. Breathing is direct, that is, we inflate the stomach during inhalation, and we begin. 1 time. 2. 3. 4. 5. We put our palm here. 1 time. Inhale, exhale. 2. Inhale, exhale. 3. 4. We also accompany this movement with our eyes. 5. 6. We lower our palms in a sliding motion downwards, and again we place them in the lower abdomen, as if we are picking up a ball. We will feel the connection between the palms and the lower danshin. Closing the danshin. So friends, in this complex, all the movements, they are synchronized with certain types of breathing. Here, we will use several types of breathing in this complex. And first of all, it is the warming breath. Now, together with the breath, it is merged, no longer in episodes, not in pieces as we did. We will perform the first 3 exercises. Victor Sterlikov was with you. Continued in the next series.
В следующей серии.
Tell us about your Qigong experience. Share your thoughts and results in the comment section below. Don't forget to give this video a like if you found it helpful, and subscribe to our channel for more amazing lessons like this one. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time. Health to you and your loved ones.